Hey everybody, it's Michelle back with another creepy Reddit read. Got another story that has to do with a possible cryptid is what they thought. So, gonna read this one to you and hope you guys like it. The title they gave this post, which is from about 2 years ago on Reddit, is "Caught What Was Possibly a Cryptid Attempting to Enter My Home Uninvited." So that sounds kind of scary. Well, let's read on. This happened about 1 year ago during the summer. Something you should keep in mind is that the house I had lived in had 1 acre of land surrounding the house where I had lived was near farmland. I had woken up around 8 in the morning on my living room couch, having fell asleep the previous night, as well as my mother and sister were sleeping beside me. I had planned to watch this movie, and I hadn't finished the previous night on my laptop, as well as eat breakfast in the dining room of my house. I had sat down at the end of the dining table, which was the closest chair to the kitchen. Keep in mind, if I leaned back in my chair, I could see into the farther side of the kitchen where the door that led me to the deck was, which had this huge window right next to the door. So I turn on my movie and start to eat my breakfast, as my dog trotted over to me and started sitting next to me. I believe it was about 45 minutes into the movie when my dog had switched her spot, now sitting right under the archway that led to the kitchen, staring at God knows what. I felt her move, but I didn't really think anything of it. If it was serious, she would have been barking like hell. After about 10 to 20 minutes go by, and I glance over at my dog, noticing she's still staring at something. This time, I heard shuffling, scratching over in the kitchen. I called out her name, but she wouldn't move. So when I had walked over, I followed her trail of vision and noticed that she was staring at the window in the kitchen that leads to the deck of the house. I nearly pooed myself when I saw something or somebody behind that window, outside, peeping through the blinds. I forgot to mention there was a chair on the deck right under that specific window, so whatever the hell that was had to have been balancing on the chair to look inside. It looked bald almost, a white with pinkish tone. It had been holding onto the window frame, peering at my dog, and I while scratching at the screen of the window with this horrible heavy breathing. I remember thinking in the moment it was a person trying to break in, because whatever it was wanted to get in so desperately. The thing was sort of small, and it seemed as if it didn't want me to see the rest of its face, only its eyes. The whole time my dog had been watching whatever this was and not barking. I'm saying this because something as simple as dropping a cup sent my dog into a fit of barking like crazy. Even a voice coming from the TV would cause a great couple of minutes of barking from her. Now, as I said, I believed somebody was trying to get in, so I ran over to the couch in the living room, shaking my mother awake and bringing her to the kitchen. And of course, whatever the hell it was had simply disappeared. I would have thought I was losing my mind if the dog hadn't been seeing the same thing as me. I peered out another window, checking the driveway in case it was a person and they had drove a car here, but there was nothing of the sort. My mother went out onto the deck and looked around, but there was nothing there except fingerprints on the window frame. We checked around the whole yard and nothing was found for the prints, except for the prints. I'm quite traumatized till this day, knowing that whatever they had been watching me for quite a while, and I didn't know. And also the fact is, if it was a person, it would take a while to get off the land. Even if they were tried running, we would have caught them because of the huge yard. I'm not living in the house where this has happened anymore, thankfully. I have had other scary experiences in the house, but those are stories for another day. All right, guys. So give me your 2 cents in the comments on this story, your thoughts. First of all, this one really creeps me out. I'm gonna be honest. It gives me like alien vibes, possibly, like the way they describe the person as being light colored and grayish, and the eyes, and it just, that's the vibe it gives me. Could also be like a skinwalker, something like that, or some other type of cryptid like that, you know, they indicate. So I'm not sure what I personally think for sure this was, but I think if it was not something, one, the dog wouldn't have drawn her attention to it. She was sitting up at a kitchen table watching a movie on her laptop, so it doesn't make sense that she was like, oh, fell asleep and had a dream or something at that point. So I think she was awake. And I think the dog saw whatever this is. The question is, why didn't the dog bark? Because, you know, like, yappy dogs, like she's describing, her dog's pretty yappy, right? Didn't bark. It was like it was almost in a trance, you know, at whatever it saw. So kind of interesting, that component of the story. The fact that there were weird fingerprints on the window when they went out is really interesting. And then, what do we think this thing wanted if it got into her home? Like, it was trying to paw to get in, you know? Like, was it looking for an invitation to come into her home? If that door or window had been open, you know, hypothetically no screen or something, would it have come in? Or did it need her to invite it in? And what was his intentions? Were they bad or good? You know, curious or whatnot. Could it be too? But I have no idea, honestly, on this one, what I think. I know if I experienced it, I would be shook in the moment too, because that's your own house at that moment, right? This is where you're supposed to feel comfortable. And it's like seeing that anything trying to get into my house, you know, no, like that's a no. But especially something you don't understand what it is. That's a double no. So I feel for this person. It doesn't say how old they were when this happened or anything, but what a scary experience to have in your family home growing up. So drop your thoughts in the comments, and please repost the story as always. I know it's a little bit of a longer one, so thank you if you've hung in there to the end. I appreciate you. Have a great day, guys.